Check, check. You hear that? Yeah, we live tonight. Yeah. Got the pack in the trunk, mask in the backseat, coffee in the big cup. Rolling with a rig in the plan, that's us. Link in the chat, yeah, we all log up. Dan got the dad jokes, James got the hot takes. I'm in the comments like run that replay. Throw the call sign, flex in the sidebar. From the shack to the park, we don't feel far. I'm joining Dan and James tonight on the Shenanigans live stream. We all like from the shack to the park, we ride that wave. Ham fam locked in, let the whole band play. I'm joining Dan and James tonight. Hit the chat with a call sign, type. From the desk to the deck, we ride that wave. Barks on the air, let the whole world say. Ground stake, tripod, wire in the tree line. Sun going down, but the band do a rewind. Spot go up, see the swarm in the beeline. QRP, but you're loud in the feed, right? Slide in the stream where the jokes stay keyed. Face cam blazing, ticker on speed. Dan reads super chats, James reads memes. I just log one more while the screen screams. Antenna in the sky, crew on the screen. My logbook filling while they laugh on the bang. Static in the phones, but the vibe still clean. From the campsite chat to the live stream scene. I'm joining Dan and James tonight on the Shenanigans live stream. We all like from the shack to the park, we ride that way. Ham fam locked in, let the whole band play. I'm joining Dan and James tonight on the Shenanigans live stream. We all like from the shack to the park, we ride that wave. Ham fam locked in, let the whole band play. I'm joining Dan and James tonight. Hit the chat with a call sign, type. From the desk to the deck, we ride that wave. Barks on the air, let the whole world say. Ground stake, tripod, wire in the tree line. Sun going down, but the band do a rewind. Spot go up, see the swarm in the beeline. QRP, but you're loud in the feed, right? Slide in the stream where the jokes stay keyed. Face cam blazing, ticker on speed. Dan reads super chats, James reads memes. I just log one more while the screen screams. Antenna in the sky, crew on the screen. My logbook filling while they laugh on the bang. Static in the phones, but the vibe still clean. From the campsite chat to the live stream scene. I'm joining Dan and James tonight on the Shenanigans live stream. We all like from the shack to the park, we ride that way. Ham fam locked in, let the whole band play. I'm joining Dan and James tonight. Hit the chat with a call sign, type. From the desk to the deck, we ride that way. Parks on the air, let the whole world say.
What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November. The Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your one stop for everything adventure radio. And even this guy, I guess. I tried to kick him out, but it wouldn't work. So welcome to Shenanigans. We're having an awesome Sunday already. Anyway, before we get started.
Hold on a second. Wait. I got a net here in about 10 minutes. Do y'all mind moving?
We'll talk about it.
Okay, go ahead.
Before we get started, let's thank these guys because they are absolutely awesome. They are the Patreons, and they are absolutely great. I got to spend a great time with several Patreons this weekend. Did a big Patreon group activation. Had a lot of fun, and again, we'll talk about it in a couple minutes. Also, shout out to these guys. These guys, equally important. They are green in chat or blue if they are admins, and they are awesome. And then the ever-changing board with no changes. And I do not know why I can't see this stuff properly on this screen. There we go. But it looks weird. I don't know. Looks weird on my screen, but no. Maybe it's not weird on yours. I don't got anything set up right here, so. Dan, what is going on?
All right, first of all, welcome. Sunday Shenanigans 157 is the episode number. I'm going to move somebody up in the list here because Gary Graham, congratulations, buddy. He passed his tech test yesterday. Welcome to Ham Radio. Get your general. Join us on HF and have some fun, buddy. Good damn job. It doesn't matter how many times it took you to pass it. Did it. That's awesome, man. Keep on trucking, man. Get that general. Good job. First in the chat, Kent Kilo 9 Alpha Echo. What's going on, buddy? Whiskey 1 Whiskey Charlie Mobile is second. Alpha Delta 2 Charlie Delta from Zimbabwe is third. Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar. That's your buddy Ron Chris over at Georgia Parks and Propagation, who got some snow up there. We didn't get any down here, Chris. Nothing. We just got cold ass rain. Oh, we got. Daryl, what's up? Kilo Oscar 4 Sierra X-Ray Hotel. Happy Sunday. Andy Callie, always good to see you in here, buddy. Dom is here, NC4 XL, North Carolina 4 Extreme Lovers, but he's not. He's just plain old Dom. Y'all go check him out. Get little bits of wisdom coming from that man right there. Good to see you in here, man. Gene McPhee from Killeen, Texas, N3XUS. Always good to see you. Kilo 4 Eastern Standard Time. Michael and Mary, Kilo 4 Alpha. What's up, guys? Reed AB8AS. Hello, good evening to you. Martini's here. Whiskey Delta 4 Juliet. Mike. Good to see you in here. Got Toby in there already. Terry's here. Took my fried rice. That's right. He said he took his fried rice somewhere else. That's right. Kilo. That's Roxy heard Terry and started to get excited. Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? What's going on, Terry? Kilo 8. Golf Quebec is in the house. Matthew's here. Kilo Delta 9 Delta Zulu Tango. Good evening from Wisconsin, he says. Mike 88 KB. What's going on, buddy? Scott N2 TKT. Dad is here. Kilo Delta 9 Uniform Victor Kilo, who said, I don't care if there's a net on frequency. I'm going to come through there, pile up with CW, and just slide right in there like a boss. That was a good job there, buddy. Dennis, what's going on? Alpha Delta 9 and Whiskey Mike. Kilo 3 My Toy Oscar is here. No snow from the South Florida. Yeah, we didn't get any up here either, like I said. Chris Whiskey 8 Oscar X-Ray. Good evening, buddy. Kilo Oscar 4 Golf Bravo. Mo, what's happening, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Got Chris, Todd, KJ7 Juliet Hotel. What's going on, buddy? Kilo 7 Zulu Fox India Mobile Tech. And Sandy, what's up, guys? How is everybody on this cold, wet, sometimes snowy, mostly freezing rain Sunday? How's your day been, James? You've been packing, huh? Hence the thumbnail.
Well, I mean, hence the stream. First off, thanks for watching, guys. But sorry about all the echoes and stuff like that. I'm not set up for this stream because I just literally pulled in and unloaded the back of the truck. Still have to unload the front of the truck after this stream. And I just rushed in here and threw up a laptop and don't have my microphone, my lights, my green screen, don't have anything undone. So we're sorry. You get to look at Dan and see what the streams are supposed to look like, and look at me and but who's this rookie? But no, it's great. I'm sure that tomorrow morning my back is going to ache because I've loaded the truck in the rain today. I've unloaded the truck today. I've unloaded half of a truck to where I could get the stuff to activate on the way down here, because even though I was activated for today, I was nice and said, maybe some of you guys can't get me last night, so I gave you another option to get me today. So there you go. Got my first twofer in Florida for this season. I got my first Florida bark yesterday with Whiskey Delta 4 Delta Alpha November.
That's right.
Whiskey Delta 4 Juliet Mike. And Kilo 4 Lima India. And I'll tell you what, if you missed that activation last night,
yeah,
you missed the greatest CQ lead-in to late shift ever.
The greatest. It was on par. It was on par with a nice long Curtis CQ. You know what I'm talking about? Because
here was the thing. I was challenged. And I'm a competitive person. So first off, contesters, you guys are just rude. I don't care. if you only got one contest a year, you're still just rude. You can't move in half of KC above somebody. I mean, you're just rude. I don't care. I said what I said, you know. But second off, it was so bad, and we had been out there for a good while, and we've done went through everybody that could get through the QRM, so we're calling CQ forever. We have like 2 minutes left, and Dan told me I should do a good Curtis lead into late shift. I said, there is 2 minutes left. He said, well, Curtis could do it, and I said, challenge. So I did a 2 minute and 4 seconds. I went 4 seconds into late shift.
Yeah.
CQ message.
It was hilarious.
It was quite epic. So if you missed that, if you wasn't in that pile-up and you didn't get to hear it because of the QRM, I'm sorry, because that will probably never happen again. It went
from a minute and 15, minute 20 second of CQ to about 45 second of preacher voice. It was great. It was absolutely phenomenal.
But it was epic. I had fun with it.
And we got our, 12, 15, 20 contacts after the new day rolled over and said, all right, I think we've had enough of this.
Well, nobody else was really coming through to QRM anyway.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. It was fun though. We thought it was going to rain, but it didn't. I mean, it spat rain, but it didn't do anything it didn't rain as heavy as we thought it was going to be.
So, by the way, I can't see the chat, Dan, because I had to end up blowing up my screen, and I can't bring nothing up because otherwise I'd probably be looking at it.
Yeah.
To see things.
Yeah. Gene McPhee asked a really good question. He says he's thinking about getting your FAA drone license, Part 107. That's for, if anybody doesn't know that, it's your commercial drone pilot's license. So you can use your drone footage for commercial reasons or anything you get compensated for. If you don't have a Part 107 drone license and you are, say, a YouTuber, and that video is monetized or will ever be monetized, future, you can't use that footage because you're getting compensated for that footage.
Unless a licensed drone operator did the footage for you.
Yeah. I mean, somebody licensed had to take the footage. It doesn't have to be you per se, but yeah. I use Pilot Institute, Gary, and Pilot Institute, I think it's just, pilotinstitute.com. I don't have my license yet, but I've been going through that, and it's, to be honest, dude, it's a lot of dry material, really dry material, but, it's not difficult. It's just, it can wrap your brain sometimes. It's just so boring. And I think you have to take your actual FAA test in person at the closest testing center. Mine happens to be up at Moody Air Force Base, which is not far from me. Chris asked, is it worth the time? It depends on what you want to do. If you want to be a commercial drone pilot, sure. It's definitely worth the time. You can make a lot of good money doing it if that's what you do. There's people that have side jobs doing like survey work with drones. Surveying like businesses' roofs and stuff like that, or getting accurate measurements from point A to point B during aerial surveys. You make a good money, but you have to have a commercial license to do so.
It's quite funny because I've heard a lot about commercial drone pilots here in the past 7, 8, 9, 10 years. About them, but I'm going to say 20 some years ago. I had a friend that I raced bikes with that was a commercial drone pilot. And I thought that was the coolest job ever because I'd never heard of it back then. And basically all he did was he went to businesses and he surveyed the roofs of their buildings.
Yeah.
And that was his job every day. And I thought I was like, that has to be the coolest job ever. So yeah, if you wanted to be a commercial drone pilot, I think it'd be a great job.
Yeah. Does the license have to be renewed? Well, okay, that's a tricky question. The actual certificate that you have your Part 107, that you've passed, that never expires. But every 24 calendar months, you do have to do a concurrency test, which will go over. It's not everything you learned in 107, but it goes over maybe like new regulations and things like that. So you don't have to take the 107 again. That'll never expire. But every 24 calendar months, you have to take a refresher little course.
You know, that would be really cool if the FCC every 10 years when you renew your license made you take a how not to be a lid course.
You know, it's kind of like, having somebody that's 90 years old taking a driving test.
Yeah.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
I agree. You know, if you can't walk
Was that a song?
without falling down,
Yeah.
and you can't see the difference between your toothpaste and your hemorrhoid cream, you probably don't need to drive to start with.
Chris. Chris, that was a good one. Chris said he got his, talking about the Part 107 license. He said he got his business. He got his to start a business for realtors, but he never got it off the ground. Oh man.
So yeah, I did want to say one thing. Any donations that I receive tonight or on Hump Day Happy Hour this week will be going to help this channel directly. No, it will not be going for Ghirardelli Chocolate. But if Ghirardelli Chocolate would like to donate to the stream, they can send Dan some caramel and me some cash. Because as most of y'all know, I've been streaming on TikTok now really regular, and it's really increased the output of what I'm pulling over here on YouTube. I'm getting a lot of new views and stuff like that, and making a little bit of money on TikTok as well. But
I'm your Huckleberry.
I recently found out that I no longer have a Starlink. So anything that I make in the next two streams is going to go toward getting me a mini so I can continue doing what I've been doing, including a lot more live streams on YouTube as well. So I just wanted to put that out there that you'd be directly helping the channel, not so much directly helping me get to the POTA parks as normal, but directly helping the channel. So
Terry asked if Josh is home yet. Yes, he is.
yes, he hunted me from North Carolina and sounds great on 20 meters.
Mobile Tech has a good question. I'm gonna let the chat answer this because I don't have a good answer.
What's the question?
What percentage of generals, so Ham to their general class license right now, do you think could pass the exam today if they did not look over any of the material? They just went in and took it. No pre-study whatsoever. If you're a general right now, do you think you can go in there right now and pass the test without looking over any of the material beforehand? That's a very interesting question, because there's a lot of stuff on the general test that you don't use day by day in ham radio. There's
if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. I didn't learn anything by doing any of the tests.
Yeah.
Other than in the country of Canada, being in distress is more important than being in an emergency.
There's some low numbers coming here: 10%, 10 to 12%,
But
25%.
I'm an extra. I think I could pass the general test. I do not think I could take the extra test.
I don't know. Yeah. So far, 10%, 10 to 12 seems kind of low. I was going to say around 30%, maybe 30 to 35. I would seriously doubt it's above 50, to be honest.
But on the opposite side, how many people who's had their general for over a year and now knows 100% more about radio than they learned doing the tests?
Oh, of course. I've always called when you first get your ticket, when you first get that, your call sign, sure, you pass the test to get your license, but I call that you just got your license to learn more.
Yeah.
So it's there. You're never going to stop learning. It's kind of the test is basically your theory and basically rules and regulations kind of stuff, and 90% of the stuff on my extra I'm never going to use in real life, but it opens up that door so I can play. I found the extra a lot easier than my general. I mean, I've told this a couple times, but I was originally licensed, Chris, in 95. Tech no code. I'm one of the no code babies. I waited very specifically for the code requirement to go away. Got my tech in 95. Didn't get my general until 2022. 2019, 2020, 2020, somewhere around in there, the whole COVID thing. And that gap between 95 and not doing anything really in ham radio until 2019, 2020, 2022, it was hard for me. The general was very difficult. Yeah, the extra to me was actually a lot easier than the general because I had the practical knowledge of using it every day.
So, have you had any interesting nets you checked into lately, Dan?
Yeah, we had one. When did we go down to Sneed's? Was that Friday? We got,
Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday. We got, Saturday afternoon. We got Josh's Florida activation so he could fill in that green box. And that guy comes on the frequency, which I mean, we were on 14,347. I can't go no higher, so I'm going to have to go lower, right? And he comes on there. The first guy's really nice. He goes, listen, man, we got a net here we've had every Saturday. I've never heard of it. And he goes, we start at 11 o'clock. And I looked at my watch, and it's already like 11:30, 11:45. And I said, well, you're late, man. I mean, it's already past 11. He goes, no, that's Central Time. And I tried to explain to him there's no other time other than Eastern Time. And he got a laugh out of that. So I knew right then the guy had a sense of humor. So I said, yeah, man, no problem. Give us, 5-10 minutes, whatever I said. And we'll wrap it up here. Let me run some numbers real fast. We can get, 50, 60 contacts in 5 or 10 minutes. And we'll QSY. A couple minutes later, some of his other net buddies come on there and just start talking. Not even ask if the frequency's in use. Just come in there and take it over. And I said, no, this ain't going to work. So we fought through there, got a handful more contacts.
I'm your huckleberry.
Gave the guy who I originally talked to, I guess I gave him a little bit of the what for about how to act and how to control his net minions. And some nets are just downright rude. So I call, all right, so my video about it that I just dropped today, I called the whole net rude, which as a whole, a bad apple ruins the crowd. But that particular guy I talked to, you'll hear on the video, I said, dude, when you're up here the next couple of weeks in North Florida, look me up, dude. We'll go get a cup of coffee. I ain't got no problem with you. I mean, so he was a cool one. It was the other yahoos with his net that kind of, one person give a net a bad reputation.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's the truth. That's why, like, if you are the trustee of a club call, if you let your club use the club call, you need to make sure that your club is practicing nice radio habits. Because, one jerk could go out there and use the club call and ruin the whole club name. Same with a net, It just takes one person. But the problem is there was way more than one person that was being like that on that net.
And they were thinking too. I mean, they had to have been thinking through the middle of it when I wouldn't shut up and I kept calling CQ because they were honestly starting to get on my nerves a little bit. And they were all thinking, why can't our net be this popular? This guy has a pot.
And this is the funny thing, because they say that they've done that net there for I don't remember how many years they said.
Yeah, I've never heard.
But here's what I'm going to tell them: they're a liar. I'm telling you right now, you're a liar. Because 2 years ago, when I was my most active at POTA, that was my go-to frequency. Before it ever started getting popular in POTA, now everybody wants to use it on POTA because same thing as 7269. I ruined it. But I would go there every week. That net has never existed there, ever. So why's that the go-to? Do you get when you sign up to run a net, do you get a manual that says, okay, if somebody's on a frequency, you tell them you've been there for 42 years. It doesn't matter if you're 20 years old, you tell them that.
Yeah. But I went ahead and moved anyway because I talked to the original guy that I talked to, who was nice. And if he wouldn't have got back on the frequency, the first guy I talked to, that was a nice dude. And I'm not saying he calmed me down. I wasn't like livid or irate or anything. I think if I wouldn't have talked to the same guy who was a nice one, I think I'd have stayed there and just ran the activation. To be honest with you. A few bad apples in every crowd. Unfortunately, they ruin it for everybody.
It's kind of funny. That brings me back to my favorite net thing ever. So a guy come in one time on me, and he did the polite thing, threw out his call, got in my log, and he said, in about 30 minutes, first off, he was warning me, but he was being nice about it. About 30 minutes, there's going to be a bunch of guys, and they get really rowdy if somebody's on their frequency. And I was just letting you know that they've been there for a long time and blah, 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 blah. And this is what I told him. I said, since you are kind of being nice, asking me to go, I will be off here by 15 till. Yeah. That gives them, 15 minutes before whatever. And he said, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. In about 5 minutes, this guy comes on there. And he started going, CQ douchebags on the air, CQ douchebags on the air.
Yeah.
And I stopped my pile right then and I said, all right, I'm going to say this one time and one time only. I've already talked to your buddy. I told him I would be off your frequency in about 15 till. Mm-hmm. But if you say one more word, I promise you, I have no life but radio. I will sit here all night long on this frequency, and I have a lot of big guns to come behind. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you heard some guy key up and said, "Shut up, Randy." And at 15 till, I left just like I said I would, because he never said another word. But if he'd have said one, it'd been on.
Mike, that was the only way I could actually get back in there and talk to that guy. Mike, 88KB, said he liked how I checked into their net.
Yeah, no.
Because they kept trying to talk over me. So I actually like a normal net check-in. I said, I'd like to check into your net, please. Then the rest of them would actually, STFU, so I could actually talk to this guy. And that's how I actually talked to the first guy I talked to. So I checked into their net, but the first guy I talked to was more than happy to get in my log. So, that was cool, Yeah. I think, yeah.
It's a real, like I said, IQSY'd for a couple of guys because they like to barbecue on a frequency. Again, I'm totally against that. But because they came and asked me nicely, I did, because they asked me nicely.
Yeah.
Now here's the other kicker though. If it is a contest weekend, and there's people on every 0.5, and you come and tell me you got a net, you come and tell me, unless you tell me you got an emergency, I ain't moving for nobody, because it's too hard to find a frequency.
And what's interesting is the nets aren't going to be running their nets on a contest weekend anyway, because they know the contesters ain't going to move for them.
No.
And like you said, if you have an emergency, I'm not going to move for you. I will give way and I will help you.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to spin the dial because you have an emergency. That'd be kind of a dick move, wouldn't it? But yeah. It's like, I'll stay there and I'll help you. I'll tell people to, shut up. Right now, this guy has control of his frequency because it's an emergency.
Absolutely.
I don't care what else is going on.
Yeah, good stuff. So, since we've been pushing buttons tonight, and I'm going to push a little bit more. So I'm just going to say that you guys from the South, you guys are sissies. You're all sissies.
Oh, for the cold?
Y'all be running around saying it's cold.
It was.
And here I had to dig out my POTA fan already. My POTA fan is blowing on me right now. I'm burning up.
It was nice on Saturday. I'll give it that. It was. I mean, it was t-shirt weather out here. In the mornings it can get kind of cold, but
now I'll give you. When we got out to Sneed's, it was windy, which made it. Wind can make. I don't care if it's 100 degrees. The wind can make it cold.
Yeah.
But the temperature wise, it's cold, man. This is the time of the year to go to the South, y'all.
Oh yeah.
I woke up at Dan's house this morning it was yesterday morning. I woke up at 4:30 and I took Roxy out to pee in a t-shirt. And it was gorgeous out. 4:30 in the morning, it was gorgeous out.
It was like, what would it have been yesterday? About 40, 45 degrees.
Yeah. Oh my God. I haven't took Roxy out without a big coat and a toboggan in a long time.
I mean, you stole the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say he did not wear his toboggan.
I did not wear my toboggan.
One time when he was here.
But
they were here all weekend.
Just so the stream knows, if you're not a member in my Discord, you should be a member in my Discord, because after the last discussion that we had about you wannabe Canadian people calling a toboggan a sled, I personally went to Amazon and pulled the ad off and sent it in Discord, and I tagged Dan and Liz both at it, and with the little circle around it that said line toboggans or something toboggans.
That's because you went to Amazon.ca.
No. No, CA sure wouldn't have said it. So a sled is either a sled or a bobsled.
Yeah.
If you're from Jamaica, it's a bobsled. It's a
Jamaica,
bobsled.
man.
Yeah. It's not a toboggan. A toboggan is something you wear on your head.
You fit right in Jamaica. Everybody calling you your name.
I couldn't go to Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
I could not go on vacation because every time somebody say, "Hey, man," but what?
Yeah,
What do you want from me?
What's up, man? How's everybody here know my name?
I would tell you what, Dom is in the chat, and Dom sounds great on 20 meters here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to hit Dom on 20 meters great down here. Yeah, he come through, and at first I was thinking, how the heck is Dom so loud? I was like, oh yeah, I'm in Florida. And now to be fair, I did not go to 40, but that was only because I barely made it here for the stream. You can see I'm not even set up for the stream. So I knew I was only going to do 20 because I wasn't going to waste time putting the coil on and then having to take it off because I was running the Telegans.
Did you bring an attenuator with you by chance? If you get on 40 meters, you're going to need it from me.
Oh. I brought earplugs. Not earphones, earplugs. I think I'm going to go out and buy. You know the ones the earphones that you wear when you shoot guns.
Yeah.
And it takes out the high noise. I think I'm going to buy them for when I go to 40 meters. That way, the first call comes through, that Delta Alpha November call.
That's right. Gary Graham wants to know: would a G90 be a good starter HF for a tech? Absolutely.
Well,
I love a G90, but keep in mind you're limited to 20 watts.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. So, my first activating radio was a Yaesu 991A. After I had it for a couple of weeks, I went on a road and I was camping out at the campground, and I was plugged into their power, and they had a surge, and it fried the front end of my radio.
Ooh.
So I had to send my radio back, And I had a guy at the time that was a follower of the channel. He lived out in California, and he sent me a G90. He said he wanted to sell it. He said, I'm going to send it to you. You use it until your radio comes back. Then if you want it, you can buy it. So, of course, I bought the thing after him letting me use it. But the whole time my radio was gone, I used that G90 on every single activation. And I hunted the whole entire 13 colonies event on that radio QRP. Yes, they are great starter radios. You are limited to 20 watts for power though. So
Gene, you probably could get an add-on amp for it, but at that point you might as well get an FT891 that's 100 watts for the price of the amp plus a G90. Now, I would highly recommend a G90 right now, where we are in the solar cycle. Ask me again in 6 years, I'm going to say you want an FT891, because you're probably going to want that extra 80 watts out of it.
Ask me in 6 years, and I'm going to say you're going to want a 101 MP and an amplifier, and
so that's kind of it's not a simple answer. I mean, right now where we are in the solar cycle, 20 watts honestly is plenty to do whatever you want to do when the bands are cooperating with you.
I'm gonna tell you. So my video dropped last Thursday. If you've not seen it, go watch it, because it's a really great view on a summit that myself and Kilo 4 India did. We sat right there and we ran 10 watts, and we crushed it. We got Spain, we got France. We absolutely crushed it. So you can still do the QRP just fine, guys.
Yeah. I mean, the different. Yeah. Oh, if you do CW, 20 watts is more than plenty. Absolutely more than plenty.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I wasn't even doing CW because I was with Josh. I was doing sideband.
Yeah, and you're right. The difference between 20 watts and 100 on the S meter is negligible, but it could be just that to get you through somebody's noise floor too. But if you're gonna carry it around all the time to parks and stuff, the G90 is gonna be lighter than the 891. It's gonna have a less power draw, because the 891 draws like an amp and a half or something ridiculous just on idle. So it's a pretty power hungry radio. But I mean, I would get a 100-watt radio, because you can still turn it down to 5 watts if you want to run QRP. That's just me personally. I roll. But you trade off the portability factor.
You're spending more for an 891.
You will.
And
no tuner.
Unless you're getting a resonant antenna, you're gonna have to buy a tuner. With a G90, that thing will tune a piece of wet spaghetti noodle.
Yeah, but the G90 could tune my pair of glasses.
Yeah,
I probably guarantee you. Matter of fact, that might be my next antenna. I just thought about that. Yeah. The 891 is great if you're running resonant or close to resonant. Something with a tuner. If the 891 had a built-in tuner, even if it was a 3-to-1 tuner, it would have been awesome. It would be perfect. But
yeah.
Don't get me started on the 3-to-1 tuner crap.
I wouldn't say perfect.
Yeah.
But it'd be better.
Data for the 891, get a digi-rig. A little device about yay big. Basically an inline sound card. Plug it into your 891, you plug it into your computer, and it acts as a sound card.
Here's the thing. You got to remember, the more things you add to a radio, the more you're spending.
Yeah.
So, if you think you want to do all these things, just get a radio that does all these things to start with.
Yeah.
The 891's a great radio. It's a POTA radio. It's a POTA radio. I'll be honest. It is a POTA radio. It's meant to go POTA with. I don't care. There's more 891s out there doing POTA. I have POTA many times with it. Thank you very much for the $5. That's the first $5 on That's the first $5 on my orbs stream, Terry.
Hey, Terry, can I pet that dog?
Can I pet that dog?
I pet that dog.
Pet that dog. That dog going over there, Terry. That dog going over there. Can I pet that dog?
Hey, Julie, good to see you in here. I probably missed some other folks. Let me run back. Let me scroll it back up a little bit because I know I missed somebody. I thought I saw Ronnie in here. Yeah, Ronnie's here. Kilo Oscar 4. Zulu. Romeo X-ray. Did I miss anybody else while we've been here? Julie just joined
I'm
us.
your Huckleberry.
So I've been asked a couple of times, Ronnie, what in-fed half wave do you run? A couple of people have asked me what in-fed half wave you run. So I'm asking you on the stream here, and Dan's gonna have to highlight it because I can't see it. But
He probably runs the one you plug in the end of. I don't know. If he says spark plug, I'm gonna lose it.
no, he don't run a spark plug because anytime a spark plug is around, I get all giddy because they're just the stuff.
Here, I'll put this on the screen, but I won't say it out loud. Or should I say it out loud just to see? Oh, come on. It's shenanigans, man.
No.
Come on.
No, there's other people in this house.
Oh, I got you. He runs the MFJ 4010 with 14 gauge THHN wire.
All right, there we go. We have an answer. You know, I gave away one of those, but mine was a 10 to 80 on this channel. As a matter of fact, I still remember who won it. Whiskey 8, Juliet Echo Sierra won that antenna. That is a good antenna. I have one of those that's a 40 to 80.
Making 14 gauge. That's you get mad at somebody, you can just strangle them with it. Dom runs the tactical from our buddy Chris. 804 FSZ. Yeah, 14 gauge is nuts. I mean, that's a thick wire for an antenna.
Most of the time, I reach in my bag and grab something, and whatever I pull out, I run when it comes to an in-fed. So,
Chris says he runs 26 gauge. You can really 26 gauge, dude. You can floss your teeth with that.
I have way too many in-feds in my bag.
I got most of the pack tennis. I mean, that's probably why they ain't got none. Right? Who said that a long time ago? I had like 4 or 5 pack tennis, and they're like, "Oh, no wonder they're not in stock."
Probably me because I tried forever to get one. I finally did get one. So, okay, so here I got 2 questions. One, since we're on pack tennis, does anybody run a counterpoise on their pack tennis? They're random wire. Because I've seen somebody running a counterpoise, and I want to know the difference in the two, how much better they work. And number 2, this is the fun question. And you know what? I think I have to go to YouTube chat to do this. Let me just create a poll.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying no, and I'm the same way. Well, I do run a counterpoise, and everybody's saying no. They actually do run a counterpoise. Just it happens to be what they're running going to the radio. So if you have a choke on it, you're going to choke your radio side, not the antenna side, and they just use a coax for the counterpoise, which is what I do. It's just a lot more convenient, you know. A 56 to 120 gauge, yeah. KY4GM has the best answer. It depends. That's right. That's right. NFeds are killing ham radio.
Was that Josh?
No. Chris. That sounds like something Josh would say, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, I'm using my coax as a counterpoise or a vertical or anything else like that I'm running. I got it choked on the radio side of the 50 foot of coax. If I'm running like a Cheligans or something that I can make a resonant, I'll use 4 8 radials with a Cheligans, and I'll choke it at the antenna side because I don't want my coax to be part of that antenna system. RG58 is fine, to be honest with you. The RG8X might be a little better, but for the frequencies we're at, Gary, you're not the loss is negligible until you get up really until the top end of 10 meters. Once you get your general, the top end of 10 meters and start getting into 6 meters, then you start seeing where coax loss can kind of mess with you. Now, keep in mind, the longer your stretch of coax, the more loss you're going to have. Therefore, the more return loss you're going to have. So it might arbitrarily lower your SWR reading. So if you're running, say, a 20-foot piece of coax and you got a 2-to-1 SWR, if you change that same coax out, but nothing else, to like a 100-foot piece of coax, your SWR is going to be lower just because there's return loss in the coax. Not really lower, so it's kind of playing a trick on you.
I'll touch on my thoughts on that. Time. First, I want to tell what this poll means. Don't pay attention to the yes or no because it wouldn't let me delete them. Those were already there for answers. So either hear better or sin better. And here is the question: would you, for doing POTA, would you rather your antenna be able to hear more stations, or be able to, for more stations to hear you better? So hear better or sin better? That's the question. And
my vote's in.
And the thing is, with that length of coax, I'm going to have to disagree. At some point, yes. So when you get to 100 foot, you're going to have more loss for sure. And you may have more loss on 50 foot than you would 25 foot. But I'm going to tell you, I have yet to find a 50-foot run that did not outperform the 25-foot run on every antenna I've ran.
Yeah, because your counterpoise. Yeah, because the counterpoise is longer. Yeah, exactly.
It seems like 50 foot is the magic number, especially on a vertical.
But really, for like forward loss and return loss, until you get really 6 meters, you really don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Because HF frequencies are just, you could run it down a wet string and it's probably going to be fine. Your velocity factor might be a little weird through the wet string, but you know. I mean, for portability reasons, I mean, RG8X. If you're doing a home setup like mine, I run all LMR 400 because I just don't want loss. And it's permanent install. So could I get away with running RG8X for all my stuff going up to my X-beam and everything? Sure. See you, Chris. K3MTO heading out of here.
My toy ostrich.
He's planning on some POTA.
He's going to love me on some 40 meters now.
Yeah, he's planning on some POTA tomorrow, and hashtag ICOM sucks. We were ragging him on the ICOM the other day. His radio kept shutting off, and I asked him on the air. I said, "What radio you running, buddy?" He goes, ICOM.
Well, it doesn't suck for satellites, okay?
ICOM doesn't suck.
Listen, I'm going to say I finally have something good to say about an ICOM. They're great satellite radios. Absolutely. They're absolutely great satellite radios.
I have no problem with ICOM too. If you're a first timer here in the chat or not a regular here in the chat, I'm radio agnostic. I will find something wrong with any brand radio and give it hell. It doesn't matter what it is. I like ICOM, to be honest with you. I like Yaesu. I like Elecraft. Don't care to me as long as it works.
I found something I liked about the ICOM. I just said it.
Satellite. That's right. Yeah.
No. Matter of fact, there's be a video drop this Saturday of a really, really awesome satellite pass from Dan's driveway. And I'm on an ICOM.
All right.
But I tell you what, I'm in love with the South when it comes to satellites because
I
in
was
West
waiting.
Virginia, I got to have like at least 25, 30 degrees before I start hearing good.
I did not say this on purpose. And Carl, I was waiting for somebody to say this in chat. Thank you. This is the name of the game right here. We could talk
That's right.
about antennas and coax lengths. We could talk about how many radials you should put out. We can talk about insertion losses on yada, 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 hada. Just run what you got and have fun. Absolutely, dude.
You know,
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell you this. I can take any radio you want me to out, and I can have an absolute any radio, any antenna, any piece of coax, and I'm going to go out and have fun and activate a park. There's not a single radio out there that I can't activate a park with.
What are our thoughts on coax from Amazon?
Okay, I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it. Works. It works fine. I spent the first maybe 200 activations of my career on Amazon coax, and the reason it stopped working was because a deer ran through my coax and broke it. It works absolutely. Is it the best coax? No, but it works fine. It's not going to, as far as for what you're doing in parks in the air, it's great.
That's the key right there. As far as what we're doing, it's fine. Now, I will say this. There's a difference between stranded core and solid core when you start getting into coax, as far as not necessarily a difference in, how can I put this? A reliability difference, because people who activate a lot, like James, their coax gets rolled, unrolled, rolled so many times. Okay. Amazon coax versus, say, ABR coax. Amazon coax probably can't stand up to the abuse like ABR can.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you I have tried really, really hard to break my ABR.
Now, if you're just throwing it out there for something at home and it's always going to be feeding an end fed there, just running across the grass or whatnot, and it's not going to be moved constantly, perfect. You know, use it. Yeah.
Like the Amazon stuff normally that doesn't hold up to the rolling and unrolling it near as long.
And as opposed to other manufacturers too, they use different kind of materials in their jackets. They use different kind of materials in their dielectric material, which makes them more flexible or not as flexible. Some get brittle when it's cold, some don't. I mean, that's just a toss-up between manufacturers.
But
the coax, yeah, that's fine. But don't.
I promise it works fine for parks in there.
Yeah. Well,
you will replace it more often than you will.
What I would not order from Amazon are toroids, because you never know. You never know. If you order a batch that say Mix 31 roids from Amazon, you don't know if those are actual 31s. You know, get those from a reputable spot, like Palomar, or just somewhere reputable. Stream's not sponsored by Palomar. Just that's a company who I buy mine from personally.
Speaking of coax, you can save good money on AVR coax by going to my webpage, hamradioadventureguy.com, and go to the bottom and click the AVR coax link, and you save at least enough to cover the shipping. You know, I've seen people save some really good on it. So
drive-on mounts are great, dude.
That's the best stuff. Even that's like I'm getting. I was talking about a setup that I'm going to be doing in the near future, and I'm going to be needing some different kind of cables that I normally run, but they're going to be AVR as well.
Joshua, the poll was about, would you like your POTA setup or your mobile antenna setup to be able to hear better or transmit better? So hear or send better.
And I asked this. There's a reasoning behind this question because, you know, I get a lot of people that have good transmit that'll come into my piles and they can hear my
Sorry.
thanks for the 3 orbs, Terry.
Thank you, buddy.
They can hear my automatic CQ, which is always louder than the human's voice. But when I call those stations back, I'm giving them 5 nines, but they can't hear me back.
We can probably end this poll because it's going to be overwhelmingly people want to hear better.
And
Right now. Yeah.
and then I get people who can hear me and will call and call and call and call and call, but they don't have the oomph behind it to get to me. So that's the whole point in me asking. First off, I run great antennas. And I hear people really good on my antennas. You know, and I know I've got enough oomph to get back to them, so I'm not going to complain either way with my setup. But I'm just curious what other people want. Because for me, I want to hear better. I want to be able to hear the activator even if I can't get through to him, because it does me no good to be able to get to him if I can't hear him when he calls me back. Because there's times I'll call people back 6 or 7 times.
And let us tell you, as an activator, that is one of the most annoying things.
Yes. And nothing's more annoying than, say, the Bravo Delta station. All right, the Bravo Delta station. Last try, Bravo Delta station. QRZ. November 4, Tango, Tango, Bravo Delta.
Yeah. Right now, it's 58% for hear better, 15% for send better. And I totally agree with that. What I call a really loud station who can't hear worth a cramp is an alligator. That's an alligator station to me. Or a dog that's all bark and no bite. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we can hear you anywhere on the planet. You know, we can hear you long path still at S9, but you can't hear somebody across the street trying to talk to you. What good is it?
I can hear you. I can hear you trying to sell your fried rice.
You know.
I have a question because there was a couple people who
Chris says you call it an ICOM station when they can't hear too good.
That's not true. Icons can normally hear me.
Oh, break piles.
I don't normally get to call them back because they can't break through the pilot to get to me. That's the difference there.
I used to be in that boat. All right, so our friend the Hillbilly Ham said,
Here.
go ahead.
You go ahead first.
Okay, so the Hillbilly Ham said, send, because just because you can hear them doesn't mean you can get to them. I used to be of that mindset too, but right now I have not, unless their noise floor where they are is like in S10. Okay, because you don't know the activator you're trying to contact. You don't know if they're sitting under like 50,000 volts of high voltage lines. You don't know what their local conditions are, right? But pretty much 9 out of 10 times, if I can hear you, I'm gonna get you. You know.
So what I was going to say was, I have the cure for you ICOM users out there, because you can probably hear me, but you can't break that pile up. Just get you an amplifier, okay? It'll help you break the pile up. I mean, or you could buy Yaesu and just run about 30 watts and be much louder, but just buy you an amplifier.
Yeah, I know. Like, if I can hear the activator really good and I call and they can't hear me, and there's no pile up, so I know like nobody's going over the top of me or anything like that, I pretty much come to the conclusion that their local noise floor is just bad. Or they have a really bad antenna, one of the two.
Antennas are the keys, guys. It don't matter what radio you're running, antennas are still going to be the keys.
No,
Yes.
Yeah. So Terry says amps don't always help, and that's very true. They don't.
No, they don't. You know what really helps? Having a good rapport with the activator, because Terry's got that. And I can hear that 2-2 voice of his in the middle of a 5-9 pile up most of the time.
Yep.
The problem is when I've got the 20 over pile up, I ain't going to hear him.
Well, it says timing too, so he knows. So Terry knows when he's going to be weak to you if you're an activator, because he knows how propagation works. I mean, sometimes it's a funny bird; it'll act different, but for the most part, if you're close enough to him where 20 meters would normally be a hard contact, he knows he's going to be light to you. Because Terry's smart; he knows how this whole radio stuff works. So he's not going to try to get into your pileup if you got 37 stations that are running 30 over on you, because he's wasting his voice, right? But he'll try to sneak in there at certain times during lulls where he knows that if you can hear just one letter out of his call sign, you'll know he's in there. But he's not going to sit there and try to compete with her. But you know what I mean?
There is about 700 hunters right now saying Dan is talking out his ass. Terry's going to call 700 times till he gets hold of James. And then after he gets James, he's going to call him 3 more times to make sure.
Yeah, but he'll try to call at the appropriate time, not at the same time like Whiskey Zero Charlie Golf Charlie's calling, you know.
Terry, listen, Terry is a band hopping machine.
Yeah.
Bands that I shouldn't be able to hear Terry on. It's so fun. Like, there's a reason why I can go into a bathroom and be taking a dump in a public bathroom, and I hear Kiva, wait, Gulf, go back in my head, and I have to go out in the store and look around.
Because he's on the stall beside you, probably.
I hear him in my nightmares. I mean, he knows how to hunt you, but once he gets his voice stuck in your head, you're going to get through to him. Hey, thank you very much, Gene.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, Gene McPhee. Basically, that's a roundabout way, our buddy from Killeen is saying is, hey, y'all are late. Y'all need to get off here.
Hey, it's time for this show to end, guys. It's time for the show to end, which is fine by me because I still got to unload the front half of the truck.
Absolutely.
But anyway, guys, thank you very much for hanging out. It is Florida time for me, so I'm going to be out in new parks for me for the year, not for total, but for me for the year. Out there every day, tearing it up in a t-shirt, loving it, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. A lot more videos will come out because I won't be in the car so much, shorts and stuff like that. So look forward to it. Thanks for the donations. Every donation tonight and on Wednesday will be going to the new Starlink to keep me streaming on TikTok because I'm gonna miss not doing that. I've got a really good base over there, so I appreciate that, guys. And other than that, Dan, you got anything?
Can I pet that dog?
You can pet that dog. 73, everybody.
You guys.
Dan, hit the button.
Yep, hit the button, Dan. 73. See y'all.